Before we begin, let me tell you something uncomfortable. 2026 is not far away. AI is exploding. New careers are appearing every month. Yet most people are still living like it's 2015. And the scary part isn't losing your job or going broke or hitting rock bottom. The scary part is this: nothing changed. Same habits, same patterns, same days on repeat while the world moves faster and faster. So ask yourself, what's really holding you in the same place? Your circumstances or the invisible habits you stopped questioning? Let me paint you a picture. Tomorrow morning, your alarm rings at 6:30. You hit snooze once, twice, maybe 3 times. You rush out of bed, rush through breakfast, rush into traffic. You work 8, 9, 10 hours, deal with emails, deadlines, customers, meetings that could have been an email. You come home tired, open your banking app at the end of the month, and the number looks almost exactly like last month. You're not lazy. You're not stupid. You're not lacking effort. You're just stuck in a life where your effort and your results are not in the same relationship anymore. And that's the really painful part, right? You're trying. You're doing things. You're surviving each day. But survival mode doesn't build your next 5 years. It just pays for this month. So the question is not, are you working hard? The real question is, what system of habits are you working inside? Because most people are trapped in 5 invisible chains and they don't even see them. First, an unhealthy love story with comfort. The bed, the sofa, the screen that quietly steals your future. Second, this myth of the perfect moment you've been waiting for since 2015. Third, complaining instead of solving, talking about problems like it's a full-time job. Fourth, overthinking and self-doubt, turning every small decision into a 3-hour mental movie. And fifth, living for other people's approval, editing your whole life to avoid being judged. These 5 habits don't scream, they don't look dramatic, they just keep you exactly where you are. In this video, we're not here to give you a temporary motivation high. We're going to give you a map. By the end, you know which chain is holding you the tightest and which one you must delete first before 2026 if you don't want the next 3 years to look exactly like the last 3. Let's talk about something that hurts a little. You know that sentence people love to say, if you work hard, you'll succeed. It sounds beautiful, it looks great on posters, but for millions of people, it's simply not true. Because right now, somewhere on this planet, there is a nurse doing night shifts, a construction worker under the sun, a delivery driver in the rain, a cashier on their feet all day, and at the end of the month, their bank account still looks like a joke. They are not lazy. They are not stupid. They are not lacking effort. They are stuck in something called survival mode. Survival mode means this: your entire life is designed to solve this month. This bill, this rent, this debt, this emergency. Your salary comes in and it already has a destination. Rent, electricity, groceries, transport, a little bit of I deserve this food or take out, maybe a small treat because I worked so hard this month, and then it's gone. Money passes through your life like a tourist. It never becomes a resident. Maybe this is you. You've been working in an office for 5, 10 years. Your coffee got the more expensive. Your phone got the nicer. Your vacations got a bit more Instagrammable, but your savings account, still fragile. If you lose your job for 3 months, everything collapses. Or maybe you're a freelancer, Some months you make great money. Some months you make almost nothing. You tell yourself, this year I'll track my finances properly, but somehow every year ends with the same question. Where did all the money go? Here's the painful truth. Survival mode is not just about money. It's about energy. When all your energy is used just to stay afloat, you have nothing left to build the boat that takes you somewhere new. Now let's go one level deeper. Have you ever wondered why the hardest workers are often the ones still struggling the most? It's not because effort doesn't matter. It's because effort by itself is not enough in the system we live in. In today's world, most people are paid for their time, while a smaller group is paid for the value and systems they create. If you are paid only for your hours, every illness, every family problem, every stress, every bad day cuts directly into your income. You stop working, you stop earning. On top of that, when you are exhausted from work, what do you do to feel better? You spend more, you order food, you scroll and buy. You treat yourself because life is hard. So the more tired you are from surviving, the less energy and money you have left to escape survival mode. That's the trap. The system quietly rewards people who can step back and build skills, networks, and assets, and it quietly drains people who only have one tool, more hours. This is not to blame you. This is to explain why your reality feels so unfair. You were told, work hard and you'll be fine. But nobody told you, work hard on the right things, in the right structure, or you would just get better at being stuck. So what does this mean for you before 2026? It means this. Being poor is not only about how much money you have right now. It's about how you spend your strength and your time. If all your strength goes into surviving this month, you will never have strength left to design the next 5 years. If you only get paid for showing up, every crisis in your life will attack your future directly. This is why deleting the first habit, living only to survive, is so important. Because as long as you are in survival mode, you will keep playing a game you can never win. Before 2026, you don't need to become a millionaire, but you do need to make one shift from how do I get through this month to how do I use this month to make the next one easier. The moment your days stop being only about survival and start being at least a little bit about building, that's the moment your future finally has a chance to change. Let's attack one of the most dangerous myths in your life right now. The myth of the perfect moment. You know those sentences we all say, I'll start when things calm down. I'll start when I have more time. Next month will be better. Next year I'll be more ready. Sounds responsible. Sounds mature. In reality, it's the most beautiful prison ever built. Think about it. How many times have you said, I'll start eating healthy after this wedding. I'll start studying after this drama is over. I'll start saving once I get a raise. I'll start that business when I have more time, more money, more clarity. And somehow, magically, there is always one more wedding, one more drama, one more problem, one more reason why right now is not the right time. Then you blink and 5 years are gone. You blink again and 10 years are gone. Soon is the biggest liar in your vocabulary. Soon doesn't mean in a few days. Soon means not today. And most lives are destroyed by not today. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Life never settles. You don't suddenly wake up one morning with perfect finances, perfect health, perfect energy, perfect confidence, perfect motivation, perfect weather, and a calendar with a big gap labeled "Today, start new life." That's not how it works. People who changed their life didn't find a perfect moment. They decided, okay, this is messy, but I'm starting anyway. Look around you. The friend who started a small business with an old laptop. The colleague who learned a new skill while working full-time. The creator who posted their first awkward video. None of them had ideal conditions. They just refused to wait any longer. And this is where your brain throws a sneaky question. Okay, but what if I start and I fail again? Let's be honest. Most of us are not afraid of starting. We're afraid of starting again because you have history. You started a diet and quit. You tried a business and it flopped. You joined a gym and disappeared after 2 weeks. You told yourself, never again. I can't handle another failure. But here's what no one told you. The people you admire, the ones who look like overnight success, they have failed more times than you have even tried. The difference is not that they are smarter. The difference is what they decide failure means. For most people, failure is a verdict. I failed, so I am a failure. For successful people, failure is a receipt. I paid some tuition. I learned something. Next time, I'll use it. First business, awkward. Second attempt, still awkward. Third attempt, embarrassing. But by the fourth, fifth, sixth time, they stop being scared of falling. They've already tasted failure and realized it hurts, but it does not kill me. And it definitely won't decide my future. That's when the game changes. So let me flip your fear. Instead of asking, what if I fail again? Try asking, what if every failure removes one more reason for me to fail? Every time you fall, you cross out a bad strategy. Every time you fall, you learn how not to do it. Every time you fall, you build emotional muscle. No one jumps straight to level 10. Everyone goes through level 1, level 2, level 3, full of cringe, confusion, and uncomfortable moments. Your first video will probably be weird. Your first product will probably be imperfect. Your first attempt at anything meaningful will probably be embarrassing. That's normal. That's not a sign to stop. That's the entrance ticket. So before 2026 arrives, don't focus on deleting mistakes from your life. Focus on deleting the habit of waiting for perfection. Stop saying, when I'm ready. You get ready by moving, not by waiting. Stop saying, when things calm down. Life doesn't calm down. You get stronger. Stop saying, when I'm sure I won't fail. You'll never be sure, and you don't need to be. Remember this. Repeated failure is not proof that you are broken. It's proof that you are in motion. It's the process of stripping away all the wrong ways until only the right one is left. The real danger is not falling again. The real danger is sitting perfectly safe on the ground while your life passes you by. Before 2026, delete this myth of the perfect moment. Start small. Start scared. Start messy. But start. Let's talk about a habit that feels powerful, sounds smart, and quietly keeps your life exactly where it is. Complaining. We all do it. You do it. I do it. Your coworkers, your friends, your family. and it almost feels like action, right? You vent, you rant, you explain why things are unfair, and for a moment, you feel lighter. But look closely at your life after a good complaining session. What actually changed? You complain about your boss, your company, your salary, but your CV hasn't been updated in 2 years. You haven't learned a new skill. You haven't sent a single application. You complain about prices, about how everything is expensive these days, but you've never tracked your spending, never tried cooking at home, never sat down and said, okay, how do I redesign my expenses? You complain about your body, your energy, your health, but you don't walk more, don't sleep earlier, and your gym card is basically a donation. You complain that this country has no opportunity, but you've never tried applying to a remote job, never opened an international freelancing site, never started a tiny side project online. Here's the harsh truth. Complaining gives you the emotional high of doing something without the responsibility of actually changing anything. It is comfort disguised as courage. It is fear disguised as having strong opinions. You feel fired up, intense, passionate, but after 15 minutes, you are in the exact same place, just more tired. And there's a hidden cost. Complaining is contagious. One person starts, another joins, and suddenly your group chat or lunch table is just a daily festival of who has the worst life. While everyone is busy arguing about whose situation is more hopeless, time is passing, opportunities are disappearing, and nothing is getting built. So here's a simple rule for your life before 2026. If there is no action attached, your complaint is just entertainment. If you complain about your job, the smallest action could be update your CV, apply to one role, learn one skill. If you complain about the money, the smallest action could be track your spending for 1 week, cook one meal at home. If you complain about your body, the smallest action could be walk 10 minutes today, drink one more glass of water, sleep 30 minutes earlier. Without that small step, you're not taking your own pain seriously. You're just giving a speech about it. Picture this. Complaining is like standing in the middle of a burning house with a microphone in your hand. You describe the flames perfectly. You talk about who started the fire. You explain how unfair it is that the fire chose your house. People around you nod. They feel your pain. They say, wow, you're so right. Meanwhile, behind you, there is a fire extinguisher on the wall. You can either grab the mic or you can grab the extinguisher. You don't get to hold both for long. Before 2026, don't just delete negative thinking. Delete this habit of confusing complaining with action. Because the moment you stop giving emotional speeches about your problems and start taking small, imperfect steps to solve them, your life will finally start moving. Let me ask you something. How many times have you opened the fridge, stared at it for 10 minutes, and then closed it without taking anything? How many times have you written a long text, reread it 12 times, edited every word, and then never hit send? How many times have you filmed the video, watched it back, judged your own face, your voice, your background, and then deleted it? That's not lack of ideas. That's not lack of potential. That's the fourth chain, overthinking. Here's the first mindset shift you need before 2026. Self-doubt is natural. Overthinking is a choice. Every human being who has ever done something meaningful has felt self-doubt. Is this good enough? What if I fail? What will people say? That's normal. That's human. But overthinking is what happens where you invite those questions to sit down, give them coffee, and let them run your entire day. You don't just doubt. You open 20 tabs of what if in your head until your brain is so overloaded that doing nothing suddenly feels like the safest option. And here's where it gets interesting. Your brain does not care if you become successful. Your brain cares if you stay safe from a brain science perspective. It's very simple. Anything familiar feels safe. Anything new feels dangerous, even if that new thing is good for you. So if for the last 5 years, your habit has been scroll, delay, think, worry, cancel, guess what your brain labels as safe? Exactly that. This is why going to the gym feels harder than scrolling TikTok. Why opening a course feels heavier than opening Netflix. Why posting your first video feels like jumping off a cliff. But watching other people post feels relaxing. Your brain has built what scientists call a comfort loop. It rewards you with tiny hits of dopamine when you reopen the same apps, repeat the same thoughts, stay in the same patterns. Not because they are good, but because they are familiar. So no, you are not just lazy or broken. You are fighting millions of years of wiring that says, don't risk, don't change, don't move. But here's the good news. That wiring can be updated. Every time you choose action over overthinking, you are literally teaching your brain a new definition of safe. You send the email even though your heart is racing. You upload the imperfect video instead of re-editing it a 10th time. You apply for the job even though the voice in your head says you're not ready. The first time, your brain screams. The second time, it still complains. By the 10th time, it starts saying, oh, we survived this. Maybe this is okay. Action becomes the new familiar. So before 2026, don't set a goal like, I will never feel self-doubt again. That's impossible. Set this goal instead. Self-doubt is allowed to exist. Overthinking is no longer allowed to decide. Make a list of tiny decisions you will do faster. Respond to a message within 2 minutes instead of 2 hours. Click publish within 10 minutes of finishing a video. Enroll in the course the same day you discover it. Each small act done quickly is like a software update for your brain. You don't rewire your mind with one giant decision. You rewire it with 100 small decisions you actually follow through on. You don't need to delete every fear, every doubt, every insecure thought before 2026. You just need to stop giving overthinking the power to veto every opportunity in your life. Let's talk about the last chain, the one that looks the most polite on the outside and steals the most years from your life on the inside. Approval addiction. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You rewrite a caption 10 times, then delete the whole post. You record something you're proud of, then never upload it because what will they think? You want to start a business, change careers, move cities, but one sentence from your family or friends is enough to make you hit pause for another year. And the sad part, the world will clap for you. They're so considerate. They're so realistic. But here's the truth. Living for everyone's approval is not being a good person. It's letting other people hold the steering wheel of your life while you sit in the passenger seat. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, but what if my environment is actually toxic? What if the people around me really do pull me down? That's a real question. Not everyone grows up in a house that believes in them. Not everyone has friends who clap when they improve. Some of you are surrounded by complaining, negativity, small thinking, and fear. Listen carefully. You might not be able to change your environment overnight, but you can change your ecosystem starting today. Your ecosystem is not just where you live, it's what you consume. If your family is negative, you can't just delete them, but you can add 30 minutes of a podcast that lifts you up every morning. If your friends only gossip and complain, you can't magically transform them, but you can slowly reduce those hangouts and replace them with a book, a course, an online community that thinks bigger. If your workplace is heavy, you can still carve out a growth corner in your day. 15 minutes reading something that stretches your mind. 10 minutes writing your own goals instead of scrolling other people's lives. You are not powerless. You are the architect of the inputs that shape you. Now let's make this practical. By this point, you've seen 5 invisible chains, but which one is strangling you the most? I want you to run a quick 5-question checkup with me. Answer honestly in your head right now. Question 1. When you feel tired or stressed, what do you reach for first? True rest or the easiest comfortable escape? If you always choose the easy escape, comfort might be your heaviest chain. Question 2. In the last 30 days, was there something you kept saying you'd do when things calm down or when the time is right? If yes, the perfect moment trap is alive and well. Question 3. What have you complained about the most recently? Your boss, your body, your country, your paycheck. And after you complain, did you take even one concrete step to change it? If not, complaining has been pretending to be action in your life. Question 4. How long do you usually take to make a small decision? Sending an email, posting a video, applying for a job. If tiny choices regularly steal 20, 30, 60 minutes from you, overthinking is driving. Question 5. In the last week, did you change your mind on something just because you were afraid of being judged? If yes, approval is not just influencing you, it's running your life. Whichever question hit you the hardest, that's your starting point before 2026. Not all 5 at once, just one chain, one change. So let's put it all together. The chains you delete before 2026 will matter more than the goals you write on January 1st. Comfort that turns you into a spectator. The myth of the perfect moment. Complaining instead of solving. Overthinking instead of moving. Living for their applause instead of your own alignment. You cannot choose where you were born. You cannot control the global economy, politics, or the next wave of technology. But you can decide if you will still be in survival mode, still standing in the same place, still blaming, still overthinking, still begging for approval, when the world has already moved 10 steps ahead. So here's my invitation to you. Right after this video, write down one chain you will delete first and one small action you will take today, not next month, to prove it. And then send this to one person who is stuck in the same patterns you're breaking out of. Because maybe, just a maybe, 2026 is not the year everything magically changes. It's the year you finally stop living on everyone else's terms and start living on purpose.